Hello and welcome back to another episode of our exercise toolkit. In this one, we'll build on to episode 4 where we talked about basic exercises, and we'll dive into some of the other advanced tools. As a reminder, all the inputs that you put in through the exercise input and data entry tool farm out to these other documents. As you can see across the bottom, right, we'll scoot over to our green section. This is sort of building on the orange section, the basics. A little thing of note here, the little padlocks show that the tab is locked, so you can't inadvertently write over something. It will prompt you with a, are you sure you want to do this little message if you try to edit them. Also, the notes here generally, right, this little 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, these tell you how many comments are on that particular document. And so it may be instructions, but generally they are pictures. And so it's a reminder to go in and add whatever photos that may help augment your exercise a little bit. So for example here, this adds in the exercise plan. As you flip through these, again, they mirror up to the HC documents very nicely. And as you scroll through, you can see all the stuff that we put in, the titles, the information, all is flowing in from that front page. Here's our objectives and whatnot as you work through. And so as you work through these, again, you might want to sanity check them, print them like we talked about in one of the earlier episodes, making sure that the pagination still lines up. And if you need to, doing those custom page breaks to kind of make sure that you're not running over stuff. Like we talked in the other videos, there are some that come directly into the document, right? And then some, as you can see here, I think this one is an example, pulls in some commentary from the HSheep guidance documents, but then right here you can see customizes it with your field. So again, editing off this page or any of these pages, not highly recommended. It would be best to go back to the data entry tab. As you look through here though, an exercise plan, we have a message list, a control staff instructions piece here that, again, if you've got some extra controllers on a more complex type exercise, you may use this document. Certainly this has potential to be overly complicated. I would not recommend printing all of these documents for every exercise by any stretch. Filling in the first tab helps fill out all of these, but I would only utilize these where it reduces confusion and provides some efficiency to the exercise itself. As an example, these two that have 9 tab or 9 comments on them, if you go clear down here to the bottom, you can see it's farming in all the information that we had earlier that we brought in. And what it's doing here is telling you that you need photos. So for example, we'll scoot down here towards the bottom. I'll let the computer catch up for just a moment. And you can see it's things like venues, maps, some of the stuff that will help a controller make sure your exercise is going to run smoothly. We pull in the evaluation plan, the extended play agreements that, again, would be something that when you send out RSVPs, and we'll talk about that later, you might be able to get some extended play, letting folks know what they're agreeing to. Again, the high level summaries up front, and then it allows a potential agency or participant to understand what you're going to be expecting from them. So for example, off your RSVP, this publishes in, excuse me, telling them kind of what they'll be expected to do, and then when and where they're going to be needed. And so you can push this out ahead of time to get buy-in and commitment, or provide feedback back to you that you need to change some stuff up, or if you've got partners that will be missing. These placemats, again, are ones that you can kind of print out and on the day of, and we'll just look at this one in kind of preview mode here with the printer. This prints out on, again, you can see here 11 by 17. You can put any kind of the updates or new information in blue, but it pulls in stuff, and then this can sit right on the table where folks are coming in. Any of these that have the insert logo here, you can add something. You can see it pulled the one from the front page, but you could add a second one that's maybe, again, a fire truck or an EMT or whatever it may be to give some context to your exercise. But it pulls in our objectives, our schedules, our scenario, and then some of those questions. And so again, just a nice value add document. Doesn't necessarily come straight from HSheep, but maybe something to consider for your exercise. We'll go back here now to some of our other documents. Let's just scoot out of there. And you've got, again, similar things, ops-based bifold player handbook or trifold. Pulls much of the same information from the placemat that we were talking about, but pulls it right onto here. So again, if you filled out the stuff on the first tab, this now folds nicely in half to be kind of a 2-pager with the 30,000 foot front and back printing, maps and locations, safety information, exercise rules, or you can view that in a trifold modality. Again, remember, if you're printing these things, to just kind of sanity check them. Here's our trifold, and so we'll just go to File, Print here as soon as we load up, and you can kind of see what we're talking about. Do remember that Control P and the other things that you're used to still work here, and you can see that our pagination still works pretty good, and we are ready to print. From there, right, nothing really needs changed here. It doesn't appear, and so you can just hit Next, and we'll bring that right into selecting what printer you might want to use, and you can then select front and back paging and whatnot. So then you can print them, fold them, and have them ready to go. Just another kind of professional touch to your exercise that shows your commitment to the exercise profession and your jurisdiction. Hope this video helps, and join us next time for some discussions on our exercise evaluation guides. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. Be safe, and talk to you soon.